E.W. Jackson. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. I'm a graduate of Harvard Law School. I practiced law for many years. I happen to be a pastor as well. And for the last couple of months since I announced on July 14th, by the way, we chose 714, symbolic of 2 Chronicles 7:14, which says, if my people, which are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, I will hear from heaven, forgive their sin, and heal their land. We really believe that America needs a spiritual revival. We believe that we need divine intervention. Not that there aren't important policy discussions to have, but I think we're in a spiritual battle as well as a political one. So I've been traveling the country, calling people all over the country. I'm here in Iowa for the 3rd time now. Expect to spend a lot of time in Iowa over the next several months, trying to convince the people of Iowa to give me an opportunity to serve them as president.
And then I'm rolling on this one. I'm going to roll on this card too to make sure they get it later too.
Okay.
Okay, so Iowa, is that going to be your focus? Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, the early voting states. You say you've been here and that's where we are now, but where are you going to be focusing on as we kind of...
Iowa's number one because I really believe that the people of Iowa are in sync with my views on things. I mean, I'm the only candidate who's coming from a biblical worldview. I'm the only candidate, in fact, I believe I'm the most conservative candidate in the race. But of course, we're going to look at New Hampshire and South Carolina and in every state. We're going to be campaigning in every battleground state. But we're starting in Iowa because it's a great opportunity for a candidate like me who has not a whole lot of name recognition right now nationwide, although I have a following in the Christian community, and a candidate who doesn't have millions of dollars to spend on a campaign. But the people of Iowa care more about your character than they do about how much money you have in your coffers.
And there's a big Christian community in Iowa too. So do you imagine being a pastor, you're kind of coming out here and giving sermons, I imagine, sometimes?
Well, look, I think the country needs a sermon at this point. I think the country needs to come back to the foundations. Our founding fathers said that our rights and liberties come from our Creator. George Washington, in his first proclamation, said it's the duty of all nations to acknowledge the providence of Almighty God, obey His will, be grateful for His benefits, and humbly implore His favor and protection. That's where we start. And if we get away from that, then we get away from who we really are as Americans. And I'm in this race to remind Americans of that and to call us back to those foundational principles.
And what issues are most important to you heading into 24? What are you going to be talking about the most?
Well, number one, again, faith in God. Number two, family as God designed it. Look, I don't hate anybody, but I really believe that God made male and female, that a marriage is a union between one man and one woman, and that young people particularly need a father and a mother in the home, and we've got to put emphasis on that. And then thirdly, of course, the Constitution of the United States, which I believe is being trampled right now, which is that the governor of New Mexico suspend the Second Amendment for 30 days. You can't do that. The Constitution doesn't get suspended because you declare an emergency. That's dictatorship and tyranny. That's not a constitutional republic. So those are the top 3 issues. But of course, the border, the economy, education, what's happening in our schools right now, indoctrinating rather than educating our children, crime in the streets right now. I was raised in the inner city. The inner cities have become basket cases of crime. What happened to public safety? Why aren't people being given that? I want to talk about that issue, talk about the importance of restoring our confidence in police officers and allowing them to do their job, because it's those black folks in the inner city who suffer the most when police aren't allowed to do their job, and they're experiencing it right now.